You are now watching the Movie Juice Podcast.
The juice is loose.
Hello and welcome to the Movie Juice Podcast. This is the guys from Movie Juice. I am Dylan now with my two lovable co-hosts, Kyle Dean and James McDowell.
Hello.
Or McDowell.
That is how it is spelled.
If you have to think about it, you're probably not the smartest. I don't know. I couldn't think of what to say there.
Nick do well. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we don't have to worry about spelling it. Our editor, Jeff, has to worry about that.
That's Jeff, Geoff. Also, he wanted us to make sure that we told y'all that.
Because he's a real cool dude.
He's a real cool guy. What a neat guy.
Shout out, Jeff.
My name's Jeff.
Well, that's what we're here to do. We're here to talk about movies.
Talking about movies.
Talking about movies.
Movies.
Sorry, I've been watching a lot of Parks and Rec, so I just
you're getting.
Yeah.
I don't remember his character's name. I just know Ben
Jean Ralphio.
Yeah. I was just gonna say Ben Schwartz's character.
Which one is that?
Jean Ralphio, the
guy who plays Sonic.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's Ansari's friend. That's not Kanye.
Yeah. Right.
All right. Well,
Anyway,
let's talk about some movies. I know last night we saw two pretty decent movies, with that being the new 2024 Garfield.
Yeah.
not to be confused with whatever year came out with Bill Murray.
2004?
I believe it was like 2003, 2004.
Damn.
And then there was a second one also.
Tale of Two Kitties.
Yeah, I never saw that one.
That was Garfield, but in London.
Whoa.
Wowzers.
Because if you wondered what would happen if Garfield went to London, I got a movie for you.
Never wondered that.
So
I barely wondered about Garfield in general.
Surprisingly a good movie, though.
Agreed, yeah, it was fun.
it
was just a weirdly weird premise for a Garfield movie, but somehow they stuck the landing.
They did.
They did. It was very heartfelt, and I didn't know Samuel Jackson was Chris Pratt's father.
Yeah. Crazy.
Crazy world.
I don't know how that family tree works, but...
It does in animated films.
Also, rest in peace, John's credit card.
Yeah.
Dude. I really enjoyed it, though. I thought it was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
You know, they had some real heartfelt moments in it.
Same. It definitely had like stuff for the kids and the adults.
I agree.
I love the few callbacks to Mission Impossible with Ving Rhames in it.
Yeah.
Is it Rhames?
I think so.
Okay.
Rhames.
Yeah, with
He
him
has the
being-
beats.
Yeah.
If anybody doesn't know, he's also the Arby's guy.
Dude, I did not know he
When
was
you hear someone say, "We have the meats" in that deep voice, that's him.
I did not know that was the Arby's guy.
Yeah.
Actually.
He's looking rough nowadays. Not rough, but like he's looking his age.
He's old, man.
Yeah. I remember I saw the last Mission Impossible last year, and he was. I was like, "Dang, he's getting old."
I was thinking about that with Winona Ryder and the new
Beetlejuice, for real.
trailer. I was thinking she's not looking very great anymore.
For real.
Would.
Fair enough. I mean, I have low standards, so I mean, I would too.
What do you mean, bro? It's fucking Winona Ryder.
Yeah, but she was like thieving at one point.
True.
Thieving?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's right.
She like stole from a Kmart.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
I mean, Kmart been out of business for a while.
He thought she did anything wrong.
You know, it's true. Really, who?
What if the thieving is what drove Kmart out of business?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, that's allegedly.
So definitely, there's one thing you can count on this podcast, and that's going to be all these side tangents. And I'm sorry.
Oh,
we'll try and bring it back to movies, but trust me, we get sidetracked a lot.
well, if anyone's familiar with our old podcast, they'll know we get on side tangents.
We're
quickly.
we're three lifelong friends,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
who just love movies.
we all have lifelong mustaches.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I got to trim them. You know.
We watch a shitload of movies, and we just decided that it would be a good idea for us to talk about them.
Yeah, put it watching movies into good use.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we do around here at Movie Juice.
Because the juice is loose.
The juice is loose.
We're hoping to get a soundboard soon. Our other computer took a shit right now, so we're hopefully going to get that resolved, and then we'll have a soundboard for you guys.
Yeah,
so
hopefully.
Just kind of riffing this first episode, kind of seeing what happens.
Yeah.
See what happens. We're testing the field, touching your ears on the inside.
Okay.
Oh, because it's
With
audio.
our sound.
It's audio only
Not with anything else.
for now. And maybe
You
in the
can't touch
future.
podcasts, but podcasts can touch you.
Holy shit.
Is that from School of Rock?
It's a regular show. I just changed music to podcasts.
School of Rock.
Summertime. Loving in the summertime.
So,
anyway, back to Garfield.
Back to Garfield.
Yeah, we saw that.
It was more heartfelt and emotional than I expected it.
Same. Like, I'm no stranger to tears at any movies, but like I wasn't shedding any tears, but I definitely got choked up a little bit for sure.
Yeah.
honestly, I touched on this yesterday, but my favorite part about the movie was John sitting in the pizza parlor at the very beginning and seeing all the happy families while he was alone, and him not being a bitter fuck about it. Because I know, for one, I am a bitter fuck.
He was just looking at him like, oh, that's nice. They have somebody. But he wasn't mad that he was alone.
He was like happy about it, which is fucking very
Which is hilarious. Because at one point, the lady in the establishment was like, you should get on Tinder.
No, he shouldn't.
And I was like, what? This is a kid's movie.
I had a pretty good experience on Tinder.
Well, I haven't. Nobody texted me.
Yeah, you met your wife on Tinder.
I met my wife on Tinder.
Yeah, you did.
I met a woman who just wanted my semen.
I remember that. I do remember.
In her bio, it said, I do not want to have sex with you, but I do want your semen for kids. And I was like, what? So that was weird.
Mine's been nothing but duds.
And what happens to the best of us?
It's true. I don't think it'd be funny either. Like, we wouldn't. It would. I think she just wanted me to splooge in a cup, and that would. I mean, that would have been fun for like 11 seconds.
Yeah, that's 11 seconds all I need, big dog.
And then, like, is she gonna come back to child support later? I don't know.
I don't know. Probably not.
Probably not if she just wanted to.
Because if she does, I'll probably have to leave my kid in a dumpster alleyway too.
Yeah.
Like Garfield's dad.
Voiced by Mace Windu.
Samuel L. Jackson.
One bad motherfucker.
Fuck you.
But yeah, they touch on like parental problems.
I think the movie should have been released on Father's Day because it was about father, how he missed his father.
It was about father.
That's true. That's actually what I don't know what comes out on Father's Day.
I don't know either, but I mean, like, they usually show something for the dads and then also something for the kids.
Yeah.
It would have been a good Father's Day weekend movie.
Absolutely.
But it was still really good. I kind of came out of nowhere, though, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because I hadn't really seen anything about it.
Inside Out comes out that weekend. That's probably why they released it early.
Honestly, Inside Out is going to be good.
I think right around the end of March, I remember seeing the first trailer for Garfield. But it was like the teaser one, and I'm like, why do we need that? And then when there was like Chris Pratt, and we're like, what?
No.
I don't think I saw one, because, I don't really watch trailers.
That's fair.
Except for in the theaters. And I don't think I saw one until last week.
Yeah, that was the first one I saw.
And then we were all like, "Hey, you guys want to go see Garfield?" And we were like, "Yeah,
why not? Yeah, hell yeah.
Why not?" Some really funny parts, though. I thought there's a couple parts that really made me laugh.
Oh yeah,
the bull's hilarious.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Played by Ving Rhames, like we talked about, where he takes his dramatic effects.
Dramatic pauses.
Thank you, Dylan. I'm not good at speaking.
Hey, man, it happens to the best of us.
Words.
And the worst of us, because it just happened to me.
Hey.
What's up? What's up? We just
you did call yourself a bitter fuck earlier. So.
Hey, man.
Keep staying on brand. I like
I'm nothing but if I'm honest. What?
Honesty is the best policy.
Damn right.
Until it's not.
Being an honest guy has really gotten me into some sticky situations, but that's for another
Lying has gotten me into some sticky situations too, though. So maybe just try not to do it too much.
Maybe just don't do anything. Don't lie or tell the truth.
Maybe just don't get in sticky situations.
Yeah, but we love those.
Love getting sticky with the homies.
It's true.
Especially me. With the sticky situations, not sticky with the homies.
Okay.
Well, I'll go fuck myself then.
Hey, man, I love you, though.
Okay.
But you don't want to get sticky with me?
No.
You want to get sticky with me?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Someone cares about me.
Yeah, we'll go get pancakes and syrup after this.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, extra sticky.
That's what's sticky, man.
Where were you going?
Get your mind out of the gutter, sir.
I stay in the gutter.
That's true.
Yeah.
But also, as long as we eat plenty of your fruit, I'm sure that'll also taste.
Call him bad bowling because he's a gutter ball.
Gutter ball.
That's a rap lyric.
Okay, really?
I've never heard that before, but I thought it was good.
I was watching It's Always Sunny the other day.
Now it could be.
Dude, honestly, bro, that's not bad.
Honestly, I thought about being a rapper in middle school, and I am glad I gave that dream up.
Well, the thing is, I'm going to use this as my platform to become a rapper. I'm going to be called Professor Small PP. Look me up.
Good luck with that.
Fuck up that.
We don't do that here.
You're going to take that up with the editor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Jeff.
Jeff.
Geoff.
Geoffrey.
But
Joffrey, the editor.
do you guys have really anything else to say about Garfield? I know Furiosa is going to kind of be the meat and potatoes of this episode. So
honestly, we could try to squeeze out as much juice out of Garfield as we possibly can.
I liked the train scene, both of them.
Agreed.
Yeah.
The one with the fucking drones coming in towards the end,
that was cool.
Actually pretty sick.
You know what we have to talk about?
What's up?
That dog's folds. Because I was freaked out.
Oh, dude, yeah. That was so
it was so funny. Like when he pulled the phone out,
That was
she was like, "Oh, that's gross."
You keep that in your fold?
like, I think the dog was supposed to be like a Shar-Pei, I assume.
A Shar-Pei or like a French Bulldog or something.
Yeah.
But like, because like when he grabbed Garfield and like his folds went over Garfield, all I could think was like the foreskin of a penis. I'm
That's
not gonna
exactly
lie.
what it looked like.
And I don't know if the adults were supposed to think that, but that's what I thought.
Well, there wasn't
as a
adult
27-year-old.
But it was like the bull and the cow at the end. They totally
They're about
do
to
it.
fuck.
They
played Marvin Gaye, and Marvin Gaye means fuck.
Marvin Gaye means it's time to get it on, as his song implies.
Marvin Gaye means fuck Dylan now.
Let's get it on.
It's like Prince. Once you play Prince, and
You're gonna know.
fuck. Prince made a song about Batman you can fuck to.
It's true.
That is true.
That is true. So did Seal, but that was for Batman 2.
Yeah, that's if you're making love.
That's true. Prince is for fucking.
Fucking and making love, two different things.
And everybody knows my fuck style's buck wild.
Now they know.
That's a real fucking thing, and I just wanted you to know that.
But yeah, Garfield, he calls in the pizza drones, and it's kind of cool because they had alluded to it earlier when he's talking about the future and how you can have,
that was the first thing he did in the movie was order delivery with the drone.
Yeah, and then
they came back around. That was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a cool little.
And then it was funny because he used John's credit card and it cost like $8,000.
I'd be a little upset. I just want to know what that man does for a living.
Same.
Yeah,
he looked like an architect because he had like a drawing board.
That's
he was
true.
drawing something.
But how do you afford to feed your animals people food all the time?
Yeah, how has Garfield not died yet? That's the real question.
What's up with those vet bills, man?
Adult Swim did have like a little sketch about him.
Really? Because goddamn,
he's got to be diabetic.
Yeah, because remember there's that one scene too where he goes to the vet and they have to use the big scale.
Yeah. We're gonna need the big scale. Did you have to announce that to the home office?
That's how I feel on a daily basis. Like really,
poor guy.
Oh yeah.
Like you order like the grossest meal like a fast food restaurant. They're like, all right. Like really, you don't have to tell everybody my fucking order.
Yeah, honestly, I feel shame whenever they read me back my Taco Bell order.
Oh,
it's
same.
Like, so much.
Because then they're like, oh, well, it'll be 19 something. I'll be like, how did I spend $19 at Taco Bell?
Dude.
But it's so good.
But also, inflation is real.
That's true.
The worst thing I've ever ordered and ate from a restaurant was the KFC Double Down. Whereas they replace...
See, they double down on the fucking calories.
It's like a chicken sandwich.
Is that the donut thing?
No.
That was good too, though.
It's supposed to be a chicken sandwich. It has bacon and cheese on it.
Yeah.
But they replaced the bun with just 2 chicken patties. I only ate half of it, and I was like, I can't do this. Dude, this is so gross.
So you tell me it was chicken, bacon,
lettuce,
cheese.
chicken.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And then,
It had like some sauce in the middle.
honestly though, if you would do that and then put buns on top,
wouldn't be as bad.
That'd be more like a Big Mac. I'd be cool with that.
it'd be like a Big Mac.
More
Yeah,
chicken.
dude. Oh,
I like
God,
that.
I can only make it halfway. And I threw it halfway, and I was like, I can't. This is gross. Like, I feel so.
They were just
bad.
like, they said, let's put the inside of it on the outside.
Yeah,
And let's just completely get rid of the outside.
that's
Maybe next time it should be chicken bread chicken.
like honestly, it's like they watch Parks and Rec. Like, oh yeah, that's the fattest city in America. Let's just create the whole.
Let's create their signature dish.
So
I bet Garfield would love it.
I bet Garfield would love
God.
that too.
Yeah,
Until he died.
30 minutes later.
Because like, if you can only make it halfway and you were feeling gross, if you finished that sandwich, you probably would have died.
You would have at least had like some cholesterol issues.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Well, then you start eating Cheerios.
That's true. That's true. Cheerios do love hearts.
Yeah. All right, so you want to talk about Mad Max Furiosa?
Furiosa.
What's the actual title?
I think it's Furiosa, a Mad Max saga.
Okay.
I believe that's what it's called as well.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna address this real quick. Movie was long as fuck,
Absolutely.
but I don't think it felt
It
that
didn't.
long
No.
until towards the end for me,
Right.
Yeah.
which is how I feel about a lot of movies. Like,
that's fair.
I was sweating my ass off ever since the movie had started, so I kind of felt the length of the movie, but it's only because I was wet the whole time.
yeah, this dude was like moving around and like grunting and shit. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Dude,
Like, we're like in the comfortable seats too that recline. So
Yeah,
like, you know it's got to be bad if he's like not comfortable.
My
in
butt
those.
cheek had fallen asleep like 30 minutes in, and like no matter how I moved my legs, nothing was relieving.
Damn.
And I was like, "Fuck, man!"
But he powered through.
I powered through. I was.
I know. Sometimes you'll recline forward, like during the movie, because
That's normally what I
you'll
do.
feel weird.
Yeah.
I remember last time I remember you doing that was Exorcist, where you sat up, and I also had to sit up too because my side was being weird.
I feel like I think I sat up in If, because whenever we saw If last week, I was struggling with the heat.
Yeah.
And normally it helps. I don't know why. You get your back off the seat a little bit better, you know?
Yeah.
Alleviate the sweat.
Maybe, yeah, it makes sense.
I'll try that next time.
Summertime, baby.
Summertime, loving in the summertime.
In the summertime.
It was like my summertime gladness.
Gonna go down to the beach, gonna do some beachy things.
Yeah, I would love to go to the beach.
Do some beachy things.
Yeah. I got an umbrella.
Hell yeah.
A beach umbrella.
Oh yeah. As long as you're not driving a diesel truck and hear motorcycles, you should be okay.
That's true, yeah.
Dude, whenever that happens,
You're fucked.
you're fucked. Especially if it's a big rig. But anyway, so the movie starts off.
Well, I'm gonna preface it by saying that like I'm the only one here that's seen the 2015 Mad Max,
Yeah.
and as a prequel to that, I almost feel it's essential. Like I feel like if you're gonna do it, you should watch this movie. Like even like I would think if you haven't seen Mad Max, I say you just go watch this movie, and then like if you really want to watch Mad Max after, and I think it'll make I think watching this movie first will make Mad Max better
Really?
because like, I think it really did good with that.
Okay.
Or don't watch any of them and just go in blind as hell like I did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the only one I had seen was the original. So.
I've seen that one too. I have it on Blu-ray.
I didn't watch a single one.
And I'd watched it like a long time ago.
I had never seen any of them, but I knew about them. But I played the video game that came out in 2015, and that kind of got me interested in the world of Mad Max. And then I watched the 2016 one and the first one, and I've still never seen any of the other ones. That's why I bought that DVD collection that has all of them.
You should watch them all and let me know.
I will, and then we'll talk about it on this podcast.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
I like that. So the movie starts off, right?
Yeah.
It's like two little girls and they're picking fruit, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? Is this before? You know? Because
they start off with like a bunch of like news clips
yeah,
of like the world kind of falling apart.
and then they're in like a green, like luscious land. So you're assuming like nothing's really happened to these people yet. But then, like, the main character, Furiosa, she turns around and she sees like these biker guys,
Like raiders,
and they're very clearly from the wasteland
Right.
in their luscious area. And you know, I really liked the way they looked.
their land of
Abundance.
abundance. Yeah,
That's what they said.
That's what they call. That's what the other people who didn't know what it was called it.
Yeah, they
Now,
called it
was
land
the
of
Because they had like
abundance.
nice teeth and good skin.
Well, they're
and
trying
shit.
to like pick peaches because that was the vibe I was getting.
I think they were like peaches.
I think that's what Furiosa was doing. Yeah, but
supposed
like
to be
the
like
other
a
people
peach.
were like chopping up a horse.
They had like found a horse and killed it, and they were
Yeah.
going to take the meat back to their camp.
to like prove that like
They
they
found-
had found like a good place with
Yeah.
stuff to steal.
And then
shit.
like they caught her cutting the gas lines, and then like that guy's like, "Bro, I'm gonna take this kid." He totally just draked her.
Why did she
Yeah.
go? Why did she go cut their brake lines or their gas lines? I don't really understand that.
I guess so they couldn't get far, and then maybe she'd go warn the others to be like, "Hey, let's go get these guys."
Oh, that's true.
Let's go beat him up, make fun.
Because also,
of
if you cut the brake lines, they're not going to be able to get far, and I feel like they could probably track them down with their horses they have.
Because in my mind, you know, it was like, if you cut their gas lines and they don't get out, then they're just gonna like fucking be there. I mean, I guess even if they kill them, but then they could have had their bikes. You know,
But there's only like 4 or 5 of them, so they could have took them if
Yeah,
they
there's
would
like
have got
5
if
of
they
them.
could get the adults there on time.
she should have just blown her whistle immediately, because then they could have gotten there on time. Because you know she wouldn't have
Because
come
then
down.
they probably would have had enough gas by then to get out of there.
Yeah, but like, they're probably dumb. If she started blowing that whistle, they would, you know, she would have been up on the rock thing still. Starts blowing the whistle, the people would have come, fuck those dudes up.
But then there wouldn't have been a movie.
Then boom, 5 minutes, movie's over, and I saved us a lot of time.
I
But
wouldn't have gotten sweaty.
so that's not what happens.
No, she totally gets kidnapped.
She gets kidnapped, but she has this whistle thing that like alerts their village.
And her mom is the only one. Like everyone else has to stay to protect the village, but the mom goes to get her.
And dude, like that scene where like she's chasing him down and she'll stop and like snipe him.
That was badass.
Like that was cool, man. That's such a good way to start the movie.
Total badassery.
I agree completely. And then so they have like a pretty long chase scene. You know, the mom of Furiosa she ends up getting one of the bikes from one of the raiders after she kills him. And chases him down for a while.
Yeah.
And then they get to Dr. Dementis' camp, which was...
Is it doctor?
I think, yeah.
He didn't seem like a doctor.
No, he didn't.
What qualifies you to get a PhD in the wasteland?
I guess whatever the fuck he was doing, because he was working for him.
The same stuff that gets you a doctorate in thugonomics.
Word
life. This is basic thugonomics.
Yeah, there's a doctor in front of Dementis. For some reason, I don't know why. I don't know why.
Well, fuck me.
Maybe he was a doctor.
Maybe it was an honorary title.
I figure at that point you can just say you're a doctor.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, or he could have just been a doctor in thugonometry.
Yeah, that's true.
Or he could have been the same doctor Dr. Trey is.
But that's Chris Hemsworth, Dr. Dementis.
And I really love his accent that he does.
Honestly, like I was not sold on him at all.
I wasn't in the trailer.
In the trailers.
But like this might honestly, I'm not afraid to say it, this might be one of his best performances.
It's definitely one of his better performances.
Yeah.
He did a great job.
Because like the more the movie goes on, you can tell he's fucking losing it. Like he's losing his sanity.
It does a really good job, especially like later on once we get to like Gas Town.
Because they allude at the beginning that his kids got killed.
Yeah, because he has that little teddy bear that he gives to Furiosa.
And like, so I think that, and then just time slowly drives him mad throughout the wasteland because he keeps talking about how there's no reason to hope.
Yeah.
So like the longer he goes without hope, I think he just starts losing his fucking mind.
Even like it's like blatantly telling his people that.
Yeah.
But honestly, not at the beginning though, because you know whenever
he seemed like a good dude at the beginning almost. Like,
almost.
Like you could see the audience could see like the like he was.
There was bits and pieces of good person.
Yeah, but like for the most part, you could tell he was trying to hold back on being an asshole until later on when he kind of fully let his crazy go.
But like they get Furiosa to the camp. The mom, she doesn't get there immediately because she has to kind of like gear up because there's so many raiders.
And then she disguises herself as
herself as a raider, and like you said, he does seem like a pretty good guy, at least when it comes to her.
Because he's like, don't. I think that's him thinking about his daughters.
His kids.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely like going to try to like make her his child.
Honestly, he was drinking her kind of. That's what it seemed like.
Yeah.
So like, it seemed like he was going to groom her.
I was wondering that too, but I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if it was like a legit like he wanted to nurture her or if he wanted to groom her.
I think we're supposed to think kind of like both. Like he's trying to be nice to her, but at the same time, like he also wants to use her for.
They definitely left it ambiguous,
right? Yeah.
You know, and then they bring her out to the little thing. They clean her up, and then the mom shows up.
Yeah, in disguise during the sandstorm. She takes advantage of the sandstorm and kind of sneaks in, takes her back. But then they end up following her with.
She shouldn't have let that fucking woman live. She should have just killed her.
Absolutely, that's what I was thinking.
And now, once again, movie's over 25 minutes. But like, and I understand why. You know, like she
said, "I'm a mother too."
She appeals to her humanity. You know, which is I know that's what we're taught like in training for like back when I worked at Walmart, they were like that, where like you show compassion and like try and humanize yourself to them as well, to try and make them not want to hurt you. But
anyway, she lets her live.
It was a fucking mistake.
And she warns.
She goes and tells them, so they shoot the gas can on the bike,
yeah,
like the extra gas,
which was cool.
It was cool because it sets her on fire.
And she just keeps biking. She's like, because like Furiosa's fine, but the mom is fucking like on fire.
Yeah,
as she's driving away, it was fucking cool.
And then, she's like, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
And then they stop for a quick second. And she like takes off what's burning her, but like you can tell she's still got some burns on her.
She has like that big spot on her back, where it burned through. And Furiosa's just like, "You're hurt."
and the mom's like, "No shit, dude.
I was on fire. I just almost blew up, dude."
They travel through the desert a little ways, but then there's a sandstorm at the same time. Yeah. It's covering up the tracks, so they think they're going to be able to get away. But Dementis uses his dogs to track them.
Big dog.
Which is stupid, because I feel like if they just kept going fast enough, I feel like they would have got away to where the dog wouldn't be able to track it down.
Oh, yeah.
How? I don't understand.
Especially with a sandstorm, like, blowing the sand that far. Like, wouldn't that blow their scent away?
Well, how does the dog know? Yeah. I guess they don't necessarily know for sure that it is the right track.
Right, it just kind of happened.
You know, because
the movie would be over in 20
They could also and they could also be like sniffing out like from the way back in too. Yeah. You know, so I don't know.
But either way, but like they do a good job of being like that's why they can track them through the dark because they're like, oh, how are they still tracking us?
And then it pans to the dogs and the dogs.
So like that's what you're led to believe anyway, regardless of how you think sandstorms work. But anyway, so they set up and she starts the bike up, tells Furiosa to just keep going. But Furiosa, being the dummy that she is,
because she's a child,
turns around because the mom gets captured because she was just buying time for Furiosa.
Yeah, but the scene where she's buying time
was fucking she's fucking sniping motherfuckers
because these dumbasses are just like running through this little cave and she's just popping them.
And then the one gets around her, but then she like takes her gun and just starts beating motherfuckers with like a baseball bat.
Yeah, bro.
But then eventually she gets the better of them, or they get the better of her.
Of course,
she gets fucking pistol whipped out there.
And then Furiosa fucking like they like almost hang her up on like a cross type thing.
Yeah.
And like Furiosa like turns around, and is like, "Mom, no!" And I'm like, "She did that so you could get away."
Yeah.
Like,
you dumb bitch.
Yeah.
Good job, Furiosa. Your mom died for literally nothing.
Literally nothing.
Literally. Good job.
Yeah. That's the really saddest part is like she was doing that so she could get away, dude. Like, and you kind of just spit in the face of that.
So Furiosa comes back. And they burn her mom alive?
Something like that.
Because I think they don't tell you exactly what they do, but that's definitely what they're leaning towards.
Yeah.
And because later on we see a guy strapped to 5 bikes like those old fucking horse things.
That's the next chapter. Remember, it's 5 chapters, I believe, or was it 4?
5.
But
like 4 is like everything until like her revenge.
Yeah. So chapter 2 starts. She runs back at the end of chapter 1.
Yeah, so she's basically their prisoner now. Like they're captured. But like that's when we talk about her kind of being kind of groomed by Dementis.
They do like a small time jump whenever chapter 2 starts.
Yeah, because you can tell her hair's getting a little longer. It's the same actress up until I think 3.
Yeah.
And then that's when Anya Taylor-Joy is, which is another weird thing. Like, it's weird that, like, as much marketing as Anya Taylor-Joy was for this movie, she doesn't appear till, like, halfway through the fucking movie.
Yeah, like, I think it's, like, an already hour in before she even shows up.
Yeah. But they had to...
But it was good. Like, it was good to see her whole story. Though. It was done very well, in my opinion.
And honestly, the child actor they got, I don't know her name, she looks like she could have been Anya Taylor-Joy.
Honestly, yeah, agreed. Like, she had the really big eyes, too.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Like, they did a really good job casting that.
I agree.
And so then we start in chapter 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
And like she's in this cage now with this other guy called a word man or
the
whatever.
history man.
And like they're like the people who were, I guess maybe like were professors or something in the old world that know a lot of the history of the other stuff. So they keep them around. So they can learn things from them, you know.
Well, they set the history man up in the very beginning scene. Well, in the first scene that he's in, he's telling Dementis about bikes.
Yeah, and then what tears are too.
Yeah,
and he had like a lot of words tattooed on him.
Yeah,
he's just covered in tattoos.
Yeah,
because I remember that there was something like that in the 2015 one too, where like the guys would have words on them. It might have been the same word band, I don't know, but
it's pretty cool.
That's the whole thing where like that's how they always know things because they like their whole body's covered in fucking like words and shit, almost like a human book.
Well, in the wasteland, you would need something like that.
Yeah, it's fucking cool.
Cool as hell.
It is a cool concept.
Because if you put them on your skin, you can burn the books for warmth.
That's a good point.
The desert's cold at night.
And then when someone dies, just wring their skin off, cut it off, make it a book.
Yeah,
like the Book of the Dead.
Yeah, see.
Yeah, just don't bleed on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we learned that in Evil Dead Rise.
Or maybe just
don't fucking break into. You should have just took the pizza upstairs to the apartment.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're getting sidetracked on a different movie.
Yeah, sorry.
we can cover that eventually later. I haven't rewatched it yet.
So they're chasing down what I assume to be a rival gang.
Yeah.
And
then they get them to fight to the death. Kind of like the Joker, where like he's like we're doing tryouts, where like they fight to the death, and whoever can get on a bike to pull this guy apart by all 4 limbs.
Yeah. No, all 5, because they have 5 bikes, remember? Because they have one on his head, too.
Oh, shit.
I'm making a star.
Dick for a second there.
No,
I couldn't remember.
It's his head, both arms, and his legs.
Yeah.
And They all fight to the death, and it's actually pretty cool.
Because there's like 6 or 7 of them, and like there's 5 bikes. So like whoever doesn't make it to a bike's fucking dead.
Yeah.
They fight, and you think that guy with the long hair is going to win because he like beats that woman's head in with the hammer.
But like she grabs the other guy's gun and shoots him like right in the fucking dome,
right off the bike.
Absolutely, yeah.
She ends up being like a pretty
badass until the end of the movie.
Big side.
Because spoiler alert, Furiosa fucking gets the shit kicked out of her.
Yeah.
Kicks shit out of her at the end.
Well, we should probably put a spoiler warning.
Oh shit! Okay, we'll do that in future episodes. Sorry.
Yeah. So if you haven't watched the movie yet, and you're this far in. Well,
that's a sound clip we can make later on for like that we can play before we start talking about the movie.
Spoiler.
Hey, something like that. My bad.
Nah, hey man.
Our first episode.
If they didn't go out and watch it, fuck them.
Exactly. we'll put a spoiler warning in the description.
There you go.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler
warning.
I like that.
So anyway,
they rip that dude into pieces.
Yeah.
Furiosa watches.
Because Chris Hemsworth. I was about to say Pine or Pratt, but not Hemsworth for some reason.
We watched 2
There's
Chris
a lot
movies.
of Chris's. Yeah, we did actually.
We watched 2 Chris movies.
But anyway, so he's like, "Oh, you probably shouldn't watch this," and she just doesn't say a word and just stares like into that fucking guy's soul when he gets ripped apart. Oh,
yeah,
Jesus Christ,
that's a running thing too. The first few chapters, she doesn't speak a word.
Yeah,
because they keep trying to
throughout
figure
the
out.
whole movie. I don't think she spoke, but like
she doesn't speak a lot.
Maybe a total of like maybe 200 words, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't even know if I'd say that.
Maybe like 100. Maybe
she probably speaks like 10 times.
Yeah,
like it's not a lot.
Yeah, like it was very like scripted towards her as if they were writing it for Stone Cold Steve Austin. He also doesn't say very much in his films.
Agreed.
She because she's being mute because they keep trying to get her to tell them where the place of abundance is.
Right. Yeah.
So they can go destroy it.
Yeah.
And she's like,
well, they want to go take it.
Yeah.
You know?
Which, I mean, they probably fuck it up. Just like, spoiler alert, Chris fucks up everything else in this fucking movie.
Oh, yeah.
Everything he touched turns to shit.
Dr. Damascus fucks everything up.
And then he gets a dick tree.
And that's the short version.
So, they get ripped apart.
Yeah.
Then we have this other scene where, like, the word guy's telling her to, like, make herself useful so that way she sticks around. Which I thought was interesting because it makes sense on the History Men too of like, you know, like if you have something to contribute that's like invaluable, that's kind of a smart thing to do in the Wasteland.
And honestly, that ends up coming back around later.
Yeah, because she makes herself
very useful
for Immortan Joe.
Immortan Joe, yeah.
But then we look at that one scene where she's like tattooing. Apparently, she like sailors can do. She was navigating the stars by like tattooing the stars of like a map to the place she lives at on her arm.
Yeah.
So she could like use the stars as a guide to get back there. Even though, spoiler alert, she never gets back there in this movie. She does in the 2015 Mad Max movie. Spoilers for that, I guess too.
Yeah.
Is she in that movie?
Yeah. Well, not Anya Taylor-Joy, but Charlize or Furiosa. Yeah.
Did you almost say Charlize Theron?
Well, that's who plays her.
Oh, okay. I was so confused.
See, we should watch that movie.
Okay, I didn't know that Furiosa was in. Because I haven't seen it.
That's what I'm saying. I think this movie makes that movie better. Like, I think that this is a good standalone story.
No. You know what makes movies
continues.
better?
AMC. And Nicole Kidman.
No, well, that's for debate.
If you go to AMC, you know what we're talking about. Yeah. And if you don't hate it too, I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, we've been watching that same intro for years.
They have new clips.
They did finally change the clips
a little bit.
La La Land's like a 6-year-old movie, though. Right? It was time.
So was the first Creed, to be fair, though, because I know that's from the first Creed. That's when he fights. That's when he fights that Mexican guy.
Right.
Yeah. So
we cut kind of to like I guess the next day, and they're all driving. Dr. Damascus' crew, if you could call it that. I mean, it's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And they see the
red smoke,
the flare shot into the air.
And I knew what that meant from the 2015 one, which was funny.
Well, what does it mean, Kyle?
It means war boys.
Cool. They are super cool.
They are fucking cool because that's like one thing I like in Nicholas Holt's character in the Mad Max movie. I like his like arc because like basically all the war boys are like they're like sick and shit. That's why they're willing to fucking like die for Immortan Joe.
Really?
Because they're all sick of something. They're like dying. Because like I know Nick Holt has cancer. in the Mad Max one, and that's why he's a war boy. It's because like they're already dying, so they like devote like a Morton Joe kind of what's that word, propagandas them into like dying for him.
Yeah.
With the promise of Valhalla.
Dying for the cause. Yeah, and he thinks he's like, is this Valhalla because he's got that nail in his head?
Yeah.
Which they don't explain that at all.
I guess that was some other action scene for a different movie. For the third one, I guess, maybe. maybe we'll get his story.
Oh, and Dr. Damascus motorcycle chariot is
That's fucking
sweet.
cool.
Yeah,
He has 3 motorcycles.
And he has them tied to like one of those steering things for like a
I don't know, bro.
chariot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And like so, like when he pulls one, they like turns the handlebars on the motorcycle. It was sick.
Very cool.
Cool as that.
Yeah. And like I remember at the beginning too, there were like people actually like they weren't controlling it obviously, but they were riding on the motorcycle. Like they were like. It was cool.
Yeah. I remember I looked at Dylan and I was like, bro, that's fucking sweet.
It's fucking sick.
I was like, that is so fucking cool. Holy shit.
Makes me want one.
Same.
I want a motorcycle.
Same. Because I remember they were showing off that motorcycle. That's what you were talking about with the word guy at the beginning, talking about the bike. Like he was talking about that bike, and I was like, that bike is fucking sick.
Yeah,
like
dude.
if it just wasn't, even if it wasn't on the chariot part, like it's just a bike, that'd be cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Kind of look like Ghost Rider's bike. It's pretty sick.
Let's not talk about Ghost Rider.
Right now, but
Right
on this
now.
podcast.
do you like the movie or you hate the movie?
I feel
I'm
like
indifferent to it. I liked it as a kid though, because it was badass as a kid.
I liked the first one for sure.
Yeah. The second one's fun to make fun of.
I watched
Like,
the
it's
second one
so
and fell
bad.
asleep, so I've only seen it that one
I watched it
time.
on
You're not
TNT
missing
once,
much.
and it was fucking hilarious. And they knew it was a joke too.
Oh yeah.
So
They were
anyway.
playing a goof.
Yeah. But so they get to this war boy who has the paint already on his face. So obviously he thinks he died and went to Valhalla or whatever.
Dude.
And they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And then he kind of stupidly kind of shows them the way to the Citadel. Yeah.
Yeah, and they think that is the same place of abundance.
Yeah, for a little
like
bit.
at least at first, because
He might have thought that. He might have just thought that in general.
he might have,
Like we don't know for sure
because that was also a place of abundance.
because no one ever started looking for that place again. Of the place of abundance.
Ever.
And no one ever questioned like all the little tattoos on her
Except that one guy.
Until later,
But even then, like he doesn't come in contact with Furiosa anymore because like they don't know it's her anymore. But
So they get to the Citadel, and I have one question. Whenever he's like, they're gonna try to take it over, they're gonna challenge it, and then they have all the war boys, and they pick that one. So whenever he jumps, first of all, what is the shit that he puts on his face?
that's like part of that whole fucking. It's supposed to kind of get them high before they die. Honestly, to get them more willing to kill themselves for them.
And then whenever he jumps, whenever he jumps is really cool, with the double spears. Now it makes sense. Because I was gonna ask,
he was proven to Dementis that all my guys are willing to fucking die themselves just to kick your ass.
well, I was gonna ask like why did he explode? But he had those 2 spears.
That's what those things are. Yeah, they on contact they explode.
Yeah, so now because later like they're throwing them, but
that's
he was
that's like a lot of their big things.
Yeah.
In the games you can use those too. In the game you throw them and they fucking.
That's cool.
It's fucking cool.
That is
stuff.
sweet. Yeah. I have that game.
You should play it. It's fun.
Probably won't.
I know you won't. Can't even beat Breath of the Wild.
Hey man.
I mean, I probably won't play it either.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but you don't own it.
Is it on Game Pass or the PlayStation?
It might be
version?
on Game Pass actually. Yeah.
I'm not sure.
The only reason I wanted to borrow his copy was to platinum it, and I didn't even do that because it's a lot of stuff I didn't feel like doing for that one.
It's weird that in the past couple of years we've had 2 movies with Chris Hemsworth in it talking about Valhalla.
That is true.
Well, he fucking plays Thor.
Yeah, I know. I know.
What's funny about it?
It's just funny.
The movie sucked though. We can talk about that later.
Yeah. Love and
Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
We're like
love and disappointment.
Yeah.
I need to watch it again.
I tried and I got to maybe halfway and I gave up. I'm like, this is boring. I'm not having a good time.
Fair enough.
Straight up not having a good time.
Yeah, because I was like, it's on Disney Plus now. I'll watch it again. And I was like, I can't do this. This is boring.
It's just not a good movie.
It's not. But anyway, so they get there and Morton Joe just kind of fucking
Pawns them, and then they get fucked up. Like his whole crew.
Yeah, like I think he goes from having like maybe 200 people to like maybe 20 tops.
Oh yeah.
He loses a lot of his crew because they come down and they just start killing them.
And then like they take those hooks down and start like jacking all their bikes.
They start stealing their bikes. Yeah, that's such a cool scene. And then they all retreat and they go to this place called Gastown,
which is also in the video games.
It's the other one of the other fortresses of the Wasteland. Yeah. There's 3. You see all of them in this movie. So they go to Gastown and they realize that in Gastown has a deal with the Citadel where the Citadel gives them food
and water,
and then
they give them gasoline,
and they give them gas. So what they do is they hijack
the ship with the gas coming out.
Yeah.
And then make it seem like they're being chased to go back into the Gastown so they can take over Gastown, but they're not buying it at first because there's a scene where they hijack the truck and they fill all their shit up, and then they're like, all right, cool, now we're gonna go back and try and get into Gastown, and like they paint their guys as war boys to make it look like they're the war boys, and then like they're trying to make them open the doors, make them think they're getting attacked so they can come back in, and they're not buying it at first. Because they're like, oh, they're not. Because the guy who's looking is like, oh, something's not right. There's nothing going on.
Yeah.
And then Chris Hemsworth kind of understands that, so he starts making it look more real by blowing their shit up.
Yeah, he starts like actually killing his own people.
Just to make it look more real. They're like, all right, fuck it, never mind, open the gate.
And then the what's that dude's name? The one with the black veil. You remember what I'm talking about?
No, but he's like Chris Hemsworth's right hand man.
It's like his right hand man.
He's like horns.
And he's like, you're scum. Yeah. You're scum. Which they kind of come back to that a little later too.
Yeah.
So they roll into Gastown. They pretty much immediately take it over.
Like immediately.
And then they send the finger back to Immortan. What is it? Immortan what?
Joe.
Immortan Joe.
Is it Immortan Joe or just Morton Joe?
It's Immortan.
Okay.
It's supposed to be like immortal, but with an N. I'm not sure what that part means. But I think it's supposed to be like immortal.
Okay. Because earlier I thought you were saying D. Morton Joe, and I was like, what?
Morton, the salt guy, you know.
At first, like when I was watching it, I was like, what are they saying? And then by the end, I realized, okay, Morton.
Yeah.
I like this fucking.
Because his son who has a really fucked up his son with the fucked up head, Scrotus. He's the main bad guy of the video game.
Because the other one,
because he dies before the 2015 movie.
Yeah, the bald
That's why
guy,
they mentioned him, but he's dead because he's like, I think he's like supposed to be like the oldest son of Morton Joe, but he's dead by the time the 2015 one rolls around. So I thought we were gonna see him die in this movie, but he didn't. It was weird.
So they come back to the Citadel now that they have
Morton Joe finally agrees to meet with them because they have Gastown now.
Yeah,
and like fucking Chris basically gets them to raise the price of gas, or they have to pay more now for gas.
Well, first they're trying to get double all of it.
Yeah,
they're saying no, the Wasteland can't sustain it. And we have to talk about the fucking nipple scene.
That was bro.
Insane.
Dude, fucking nipples are bleeding.
He has him. So he has the old leader of Gastown, like hooked up to this helmet with a spike that is being held on by
spring.
A spring.
Like if he lets go, that whole thing, that arrow is going through his fucking skull.
Absolutely.
And for some reason, it's also connected to his nipples.
Because I think his nipples were connected through a chain.
Yeah,
but I think that got caught in the arrow and he accidentally let go and it rips his fucking nipples off.
Is that what it was?
I think so.
I thought that it was connected to his nipples, and like he was like, I can't hold it much longer because it was hurting his nipples. Remember?
My nipple.
And then
I just thought it was an accident. It happened so quick I couldn't tell.
It did. It was honestly crazy. I was like, what? And then it's just bleeding. They're just bleeding.
So it was pretty cool.
Morton Joe ends up agreeing,
but I think he only ups it by like a third.
He does. Yeah, he agreed out of a fear boner.
Yeah, I would too because that was crazy.
He also took one of what's Chris Hemsworth's name in the movie? Dr. Dementis.
Yeah.
They take one of his guys and Furiosa,
which I knew that was going to happen because that guy is in the 2015 one because he delivers all the babies in the Mad Max movie. He what was he, the biological mechanic, the biomechanic, like the biological mechanic.
Biodiesel.
Where like because basically they're a word for a doctor, or like he could fix up people. instead of cars.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And
But then Furiosa, which makes sense.
yeah, and they say that they'll make Furiosa one of their wives, and then it immediately gets kind of creepy.
Yeah, it does, yeah, because that's kind of how it is in 2015. Which they're just there to be bred for no more than Joe.
He was like the big, weird. Beefy, bald guy.
The big, beefy, bald guy.
And that was weird.
Yeah,
that guy.
He legit is gonna rape her.
Yeah,
but she realizes it because there's a scene right after where the biomechanic is delivering a child,
and he's kind of touching up on her.
He's
but she runs away.
Hair. She runs away, and then she very smartly
cuts some of her hair off.
I think she pretty much cuts all of it off.
Not yet, because I think
she cuts a good portion of it off to make that little wig thing.
Yeah, because she has but
it's not all of it. Because she still has hair. Because I don't know. No, she does. She does cut it off.
She cuts it all off because she has
because she cuts it all off, glues it onto a helmet, or uses wax to put it on a helmet, so that way she can slip off and run away when the guy's touching it later.
And then she starts posing as the little boy.
Right. She kind of runs away and hides, and then I guess they just kind of are like, oh well, I guess that wife is dead.
Yep.
And then she shows up as one of the boys who opens the gate.
And that's the beginning of chapter 3.
Act 3, yeah.
They're
bringing up a
truck.
Yeah.
They're bringing up a truck, like a tow truck kind of thing.
Yeah, and the guy who does the cable fucking dies.
Yeah, dies.
And then they need someone small to go down there and hook it up, so they get Furiosa to do it. And then she kind of gets promoted after that. She's able to hook it around and get it up there. And then they basically promote her to keep the cable person. And then I guess she keeps getting promoted, and then they bring her in to build this thing called a war rig that's supposedly going to help them beat Dr. Dementis.
Well, I think it's more so just to protect them while they transfer the stuff. I don't think it's originally supposed to be for war, because at this point they're still at least somewhat, even though it's contentious, they're still at peace. Right?
Because getting ahead of ourselves, when they're on the way, isn't it the guy with the horns that attacks them? So I thought that's why.
But they say that he went rogue.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to bring that up.
I couldn't remember. Okay.
Yeah, because the guy with the veil,
of the "you're scum" thing,
and you're a scum.
Oh, gotcha.
And
okay.
Also, another point that I'd like to.
So never mind that. So you're right. Probably it's probably just protect the shit.
And I could be completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what they said.
Yeah.
And then another point that I want to bring up is her becoming this cable person, the gatekeeper, whatever you want to call it. That is her taking the advice of the history man,
right? Yeah,
to make herself useful,
right?
And also, I want to mention that this is whenever we finally get Anya Taylor-Joy in this chapter, because they do the big time lapse of the tree growing with her hair. And now we have Anya Taylor-Joy. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think it was her just yet. I think,
but we get her in chapter 3 for sure, because by the time
the war rig's being
they're building the war rig,
that's her for sure. Yeah.
It's her.
I can't remember exactly because I thought that too when the time lapse of that wig on the tree was doing. I thought we were gonna get Anya Taylor-Joy, but then I think we got the other girl for a few more scenes.
You might be right,
but then it was the war rig, and then it was Anya Taylor-Joy because I do remember it was
because they do that real big close up of her.
Yeah, you can't miss those eyes.
It's true. They're huge.
Yeah,
but beautiful.
And then also, this is whenever she grows her hair back too.
Yeah,
she has hair again, but you can't tell because she's wearing the mask thing the whole time.
Because she cuts her hair twice in this movie.
Yeah. So they build a war rig. I feel like chapter 3 is pretty uneventful.
No, but that's the whole big action scene. It starts with them building the war rig, but the action scene after the war rig's built was honestly could rival the whole 2015 Mad Max movie, because that was a really good fucking action
long,
scene.
Yeah, it was 20 minutes probably.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking cool.
It was so cool, and I just love the war rig, and they talk about how, what do they call the thing at the end?
The something whopper or something.
Yeah, the bottom whopper or something.
Yeah, it's fucking.
It's the spinning top on the back with
cool.
Balls that you see on a mace.
Yeah, it's got 4 maces, and
on chains, and it just spins.
It's so cool.
Shit was awesome.
And then they have the cool pole to go back and forth.
Yeah, because there's cars in the 2015 one that just have those poles, and they use those to kind of go from car to car. Yeah, there'll be a car over here, and they it's fucking cool.
It's
watching them just go back and forth.
It's some
cool.
pirate shit.
Yeah, it's fucking. It's exactly.
And
that's what I mean about the 2015 was it's Because, like, that's all the 2015 one. It's just them, like, driving and fighting. It's crazy. Like, this is exactly what that is, just, like, smaller, but the action was way more intense. Because, like, there's guys in the air. It was fucking shit was crazy.
Oh, it was so cool. And I love, like, the idea of, like, the brigade, like, around with, like, the motorcycles and the car.
Like, everyone's trying to protect the big rig.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
And then there's all the dudes standing, with all the war boys standing on top with their spears.
Poon tip spears, whatever they're called.
Do you think that the dwarf is a war boy only because he's a dwarf, or do you think he's sick too?
I want to say he's sick with something too, probably. Because his head looks deformed. I don't know if maybe
that
looks
super deformed.
That's true.
I don't think that I don't think that was like actually what he looks like as a little person just in the world. I think they did that more to make him seem like maybe he had something more wrong with him.
Yeah, because he got domed.
He really did, poor guy.
Yeah,
not before he turned it on though. He turned it on.
I didn't think that I didn't realize he got shot.
Yeah, because I saw a little wound as she was closing the thing. I saw the wound. I was like, oh, I guess he got fucked up.
Yeah, he got zoinked.
Yeah.
Well, they show him.
Yeah, and then she like closes the hatch.
Yeah,
and it kind of like signifies rest in peace. I don't understand. What was the cabbage for? Was that what they were delivering?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They were taking.
I just thought that guy had a stockpile of cabbage.
No, that's what I was saying.
Cabbages.
They have like they're taking. You know, I think they have like the one rig for whatever they are getting.
Right.
And then they have the other rig for the food.
Yeah, because I remember when they get the gas town, they're getting the gas. They don't get the gas yet because they were still unloading the food and shit. But then they had to leave early. But anyway, before that, all the other actions.
So you find out that Furiosa has stowed away
underneath. Yeah,
she's not supposed to be there. And does she have a bike like underneath it, strapped to it too? Okay, because I remember.
I think she was going to use that to get away and then go home.
Yeah,
but then something happens underneath. And they end up like knocking her loose, and the bike flies off, and then she has to end up joining the fight to help them
because she knows that if she doesn't, they're gonna die.
Yeah,
so there's this huge fight scene.
And like without her bike, she's not gonna get away. So she's like, "Well, I guess this is what I'm doing."
Yep.
Now.
Like how I mentioned,
I'm joining the team.
There's like the dude in the air. There's dudes in the air. There's that really cool scene where she uses the harpoon. On top.
Because that's at the end where she uses the harpoon to get the guy with the horns who went rogue, and she starts bringing it in, and like it's like automatic where it starts winding him closer, and that's when she has the guy turn on the Wally Whomper or whatever the fuck it was called, and he gets sucked into that motherfucker, and he gets fucked up.
This is so cool.
And it was a cool action scene because he's like riding this balloon that looks like an octopus or something.
Yeah. And you see it at the beginning.
Yeah, true.
You see that octopus at the beginning in Dementus's first little hideout.
Like they bring it with them. So I don't know how they kept that when they were getting raided by Morton Joe at the beginning. Like I don't know how that got away when all the other fucking bikes didn't get away. But whatever.
But it didn't.
But anyway, like when he gets knocked into that thing and it's just spinning and it looks like it makes the rig like some sort of like death rig.
Yeah.
Because like it's got like cool black tendrils behind it spinning.
So
that shit was fucking cool.
And this is also. So who is the guy? The driver.
I don't know.
I don't think they ever say his name.
Yeah, but like he's like their best driver.
They say that he's like driven on the Fury Road or whatever.
Yeah, and he's like the best they have.
We'll call him Steve.
Well, look at that. I had to pull it up a second ago.
We should check it.
We should check it.
He was
Praetorian
Jack.
Praetorian Jack.
So we'll just call him Jack.
This is whenever you find out. This is whenever like the people find out that she's a woman.
Yeah,
basically.
And they're like, oh shit, she's stowed away. She's a woman or whatever. Yeah.
Which I don't really know if they make the connection at Immortan Joe's Citadel, or if she's just like, because after the fight scene, they talk about he's like, hey, Jack says he's got to start his crew over again.
Yeah, and like I'm gonna start with you,
and then so
maybe he just vouched for her.
Yeah,
because at the end she says like when she has to spoiler alert, when she comes back to the Citadel, she's like, I'm Furiosa, and they're like, oh shit, what are you doing out here? You're supposed to be up here, whatever.
Yeah.
So I think they inevitably find out who she is. I just think they stopped giving a shit because she made herself so useful. I think.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And Jack was able to convince them that she's worth everything that like she can do.
And I'm just gonna say Anya Taylor-Joy with the black on her, like the what is that? The black war paint, I guess.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Which is I guess that's kind of where because she does that all throughout the Mad Max movie, the 2015 one. So I guess that's where she got it from because this Jack guy also does that. He always has
just the forehead.
Yeah, just the forehead.
But so I guess that's where she got it.
The brown hair too.
Yeah, it looks cool, dude.
Primo. fantastic.
Would. Respectfully,
of course.
To be fair, I would fucking Chris Hemsworth too. Like before his nipples get ripped off.
Oh yeah.
He's in that white coat he's got. He was
the white coat's sick.
That was cool. Even before it got red, like I loved his drip. It was cool. He was looking like Jesus, bro. I was like, bro.
Whenever they got the what are those things called? The paint in the sky. What the fuck?
Yeah,
flares. Whenever they shot the flare at it,
and he red.
It turned it red.
Beard.
That was fucking cool.
He looked like a. It wasn't like a wrestler that had that kind of mustache, but it was. I don't know. Man, I think it's something. I don't know.
To me, it looked like Gimli from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. So anyway, she joins the crew, and then but before that, they do another run and they get to Gastown.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's the cut though.
Okay.
They cut.
Is that 4? Yeah, that's 4. Cause that turns to chapter 4.
Yeah.
Because that's like the homecoming one where because he says, just stick with me for a while, and I'll teach you all the skills you need for you to go wherever you want to go after that.
Yeah. And he's talking to her about like where were you gonna go? Because she starts to walk off.
He's like, where are you gonna go? Like there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's either Gastown, the Bullet Farm, which we'll get to in a second, or the Citadel. Any other place in the wasteland, it's like nothing. So like, where are you gonna go?
Yeah, where are you gonna go?
And I believe we cut to them doing a run to Bullet Farm next. I don't think they go to Gastown yet. Because they go to the Bullet Farm and it shows them like unloading all the cabbage and everything goes fine.
Yeah. And
they get the bullets and then they go back to the Citadel. And then that's when you start finding out about how Gastown is like going to shit.
Yeah, because of Dementis.
Under Dementis.
And they're kind of getting a plan ready.
And they're talking about how he's like blaming everyone but himself.
Of course, yeah.
You know, very much a narcissistic thing to do.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
I know how that is.
Yeah.
I know what it's like.
No one knows what it's like. Liner Skynerd.
Hey, that was my one. But
so then they do a run to Gastown for gas, and then they drop their shit off, and then they get to see firsthand. Like as soon as they get there, they're greeted with a fucking riot.
Yeah,
like
they're trying
to get whatever's in that truck like for free or something. They're trying to get it before.
Well, it's not even that. It's just the citizens of Gastown. It's not like the people.
Yeah,
because Dementis people are holding them off.
Yeah.
Also, to try and help to make sure they get all this shit unloaded.
Right.
But they just get overran.
Yeah.
And Dementis shows up and he's like, hey.
Like, shit's going down here. They're blaming me.
I want a meeting with the warlords in 3 days. And also, before that, I believe the guy from Bullet Farm is there talking about how they need to overtake him or whatever. Doesn't that happen before, too? Yeah, because they go back to the Citadel before they go.
Right, yeah. Like you said, yeah. They leave. Furiosa and them leave the Bullet Farm, come back, and then that's when I think they bring the Bullet Farm guy with them.
Something like that.
Yeah,
and he's there.
And they're talking about how, like, we gotta fucking do something about Dementis.
Yeah, because then they come back, right?
Well, after he talks to him, then the shit hits the fan, the riot breaks up, they start fucking, like, they're attacking the people. And Dementis gets them out of there, just barely though. Really.
Yeah, Dementis is like, follow me, we'll get you out of here.
Yeah.
And they're attacked. Furiosa gets stabbed in the shoulder.
Yeah, because
it's nothing lethal, but they take care of that. And then they go back to tell them just how bad Gastown was.
Yeah, and maybe this is the part where they start talking about how they need to do something about it. I'm really not sure. Yeah. It's somewhere in here.
But either way, like it's clear that he's not doing well with Gastown.
And
all right, buddy, you suck.
They're talking about how they're gonna like take it back over because they're gonna go back to the Bullet Farm to get as many bullets as they can. And he says like every
caliber, every gun, we're gonna take the fight to them.
Yeah. And cut to, I would assume, the next day.
I think it's Furiosa, Jack, and then like some more war boys.
Yeah,
they're going to Bullet Farm. To get the bullets he's talking about.
Yeah, and then as soon as they get there, you see a dog.
Yeah,
and like this whole time, Dementis has had like a dog with him.
Yeah, so like you're like, huh, that's weird. But like they open the gate for him, and then they get in there, and then they're immediately attacked.
And they shut it down and chop that one car in half.
Yeah,
yeah. And Furiosa gets out because before they get to Bullet Farm, I think that they're planning the escape. Because remember, the first time they're at Bullet Farm, he gets that shotgun.
Yeah.
And he gives it to Furiosa, and he tells her, like, hey,
you're going to need this when you leave.
You're going to need this when you leave.
We've done all we can.
Yeah.
Whenever the time's right, we're going to get you out of here.
And then, before they get to Bullet Farm,
too, they have this kind of connection at the Citadel where, like, you kind of get the idea that there may be more than just friends.
Oh, that's right.
I forgot about that. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Where she
tells him to come with her.
So they're planning to leave together.
Because before they get to Bullet Farm the second time, he stops the brigade. Remember, he has them put the bikes on top of the car,
and they have Furiosa go in that car.
Furiosa goes in the car
because she always drives the war rig, but they said no. He's like, but I always drive the war rig. He's like, no, today you're driving the car with the bikes on.
But
V8s,
and they present it like it's like a strategic play.
Yeah,
but they talk in the rig, and he's like,
it's
this is the time.
Now's the time. Because then, like, quick jump ahead. When after everything's said and done, and they're leaving Bullet Town, they're like, all right, cool, we're gonna leave right now. Because they get to leave in that car, and like we head south for 3 days, and we're gonna get there or whatever.
East
bad.
For 3 days.
East. Okay. I thought you said least.
Did you try changing it to Wumbo?
He, she, me, we.
Wumbo.
I'll Wumbo you.
Wumbo wings.
Want to start a wing place called Wumbos?
Yes.
Anyway, so now that we know that they might be boinking.
They get to Bullet Farm
because that is essential to this part. I promise we'll get there.
Yep, they get to Bullet Farm.
They get attacked. They get gated in.
They get attacked immediately, and like all the war boys are like instantly fucking killed.
Yeah, they get fucked up quick. And like the only people left are like him and Furiosa. So he's got this repeater rifle, and then she's got this sniping rifle.
Furiosa gets out,
but he tells her to run, and like she's getting ready to run away. And he gets a couple people off, which is fine. He kills the couple people there, and then he gets in the war rig and starts driving through the Bullet Farm.
And he's gonna escape with her at first, I think.
And then but then that's when things get overwhelming. He says, "Go, get out of here,
and
save yourself." Kind of.
He sees all because she's outside the gate.
Yeah,
and then he sees all of the cars coming up. So then he hops in the war rig, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna take these motherfuckers down."
Yeah, even if it takes me down with him.
Yeah. So he starts fucking heading on towards them, and then she starts to leave, and she does the same thing she did with her mom.
Yep.
She starts to leave, and then she
turns the car around, and then throws it in reverse, and then goes to help him.
Back it up, Terry.
She's throw it in reverse, Terry. Tell what you're doing. So she finds a nice vantage point to snipe with, and kind of gets Dementis behind this pillar.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, that part was sweet.
That was
man.
Cool,
because they would just pop out and just fucking get them. Because she shoots the RPG first.
Yeah.
You know?
Because there's an RPG, and like she shoots that guy, so the RPG falls. But then Dr. Dementia is able to grab the RPG.
Yeah.
And he uses it again. But anyway, he
shoots it at her.
Yeah, and then she falls, and then like he's kind of getting away. Yeah.
And then he drives. Jack drives the war rig through the tower that he's on.
Yeah, that was
kind
cool.
of hanging there.
I thought that thing was going to explode after that. But he just keeps driving through it after he gets through it. I'm like, that's a tough fucking war.
Which is cool because Chris is just hanging there.
Yeah, because I remember that in the trailer. And I was like, I wonder what that is. And then when it happened in the movie, I was like, oh, that was in the trailer. It was so cool. And he was like hanging on for dear life. That was cool as fuck.
That was so fucking cool.
Yeah. So then he keeps driving.
And they still getting chased, and like, dude, this whole time, like, they're in like the Bullet Farm is like,
it's like a
canyon,
a quarry almost.
Yeah,
and it goes in a big circle
because he's like knocking these fucking cars off, and they're blowing up. Like, there's that cool
there's like a bus with like a flamethrower,
the Volkswagen bus.
Yeah, he fucking knocks that shit over,
and it's so fucking cool. And like this whole movie, like, is just
nothing but action.
Yeah, it's like action, not a lot of plot, not a lot of dialogue, just fucking
like it is
cock hard rocking action.
Put that on a fucking t-shirt. God damn.
They literally just have plot to set up the next action scene.
Literally.
Yeah.
The scenes that action don't happen in are only like 5 minutes long. And there's only like one every... Like, if it's like a ratio, it's like maybe 5 minutes to an hour of action.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
It's so good. So, he gets out of the war rig at some point. How does he get out of the war rig?
I think he gets trapped. There's like this big crane.
The crane. That's right.
It like tries to throw him off a cliff.
And it's pulling him down. Oh no, he gets caught by the crane, and he's getting pulled down. And then
Furiosa has this bike with a grappling hook on the back.
Yeah, and she's
able to sling it, and he grabs onto the hook, and she like drives him up out of the ravine.
Right. Yeah.
And then cool as shit.
And then they get out of there.
They get on the bike, and then they get back to the car that had the bikes.
And then they start hauling ass.
Yep.
And then you think, okay, everything's good.
They're gonna get away.
No big deal. She says, hey, we're gonna drive 3 days east, and then we're gonna hit the dunes, and we're gonna get to the land.
Get on the bikes there, and then we'll get there.
Yep.
And like Chris is able, or Dr. Nemesis is able to get saved by this.
He has this cool ass monster truck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and like it almost rips her arm off.
That's in a second.
Because the crane gets in a position where because he's hanging on for dear life over like this pit of fire.
Yeah.
And like the crane saves him from that, and then he gets in this big ass fucking monster truck, and he's gonna get crazier later. But like the looks in his eyes in this fucking scene when he's driving that thing, he is on a fucking warpath.
This is whenever he's lost his
shit because he's like the way he's grunting too. He's like,
and they
do this one scene that George Miller, the director, did a lot in all those other movies where like it zooms into his face and he's like, it's fucking crazy.
The wheel. And so they're able to. He rams through the gate.
They're like, oh well, we'll have to get the blah 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 to get it out. And it's like, no, we don't have time for that. He just fucking rams it like 3 or 4 times, knocks down the gate,
and then he drives over it. And then the biker guys follow him, and me and Dylan started laughing because one of them, like whenever they're coming out, he fell over. And that was the first time they had done that I had noticed. Later, whenever they're going up the dunes and shit, they do that again. So I guess it was on purpose, but at first I really thought it was
because I think some of them can't make it and they know that, so they stop.
Yeah, because he just he comes out just a little bit and falls, and me and Dylan were like,
it's almost like those domes that people ride bikes in, where like if you let go of the gas, you're gonna fall.
Yeah.
So I think they just pushed out and let go of the gas and fell over.
At first, I thought it was like a Star Wars thing.
Right, where like the guy hits his head on the thing. Yeah,
he hits his thing.
So that happens. That was funny, and they pretty much immediately catch up to them.
Yeah, like it was. That's how fucking pissed off he was.
Yeah, and that monster truck once again, badass.
Yeah, I agree. Because she makes it up the hill, and does he go around or does he go up the? I think he goes up the hill. I remember too.
Yeah.
Or maybe they went around. He went up.
I think they go around. He goes up.
Like he just goes straight up that fucking hill with that.
But at this point, do they not already by the time they get to the hill, don't they already know he's behind them? Because they're driving and they hear it. It's like, oh,
I think that's after the hill.
It's a loud motherfucking car.
It is. Yeah, I think that's after the hill.
And he catches up to them immediately and just starts.
And then he ends up on a different side of this ravine almost.
Yeah,
there's this really cool action scene where they're kind of rubbing up against each other, and then nothing happens yet with that. But then they ended up jump off each other, and end up on 2 separate sides of the ravine, and they end up splitting. And then there's this one part of the other ravine where there's no land, but he's going so fast he's able to jump over it.
Jumps it. Yeah,
it was fucking.
Well,
cool.
she does
cool.
she does the little sandstorm thing. And gets in the little rope-a-dope. Remember?
Right, yeah.
Because she kind of goes around and then cuts around, and then
she does a little circle to kick up some dust to confuse him.
Yeah, and then gives him the rope-a-dope.
Right, and then that's when he ends up on the other side of the ravine.
Yeah, and then he jumps the ravine, and then he immediately fucks them up.
Yeah,
it rips off her arm. Almost rips off her arm.
She's trying to shoot him or something. And the big ass tire of the monster truck rubs up against the car against her fucking arm and fucks that thing up.
What's the word? Eviscerates.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, because it's fucked. So she gets mauled by this truck.
Yeah,
that's what happens. And then he's fucking slamming the tire down on the back of it, and he catches them, and he makes them wreck. They wreck.
Yeah, he because he does that, and then they slam into the back of him, and and then they end up in a small little crater.
Yeah. And then the rest of the bikes catch up. And he pulls them out, and they're kind of nuzzling on each other because they think they're both about to die.
Yep.
And he's like, no, not enough of that. And this is whenever he's really lost it because he's telling them there's no hope.
Well, before that, he grabs the tailpipe off the car, and I thought he was going to use that as a jack hook to flip the car back over. No, he just takes it and starts beating the car up because he's just angry. I thought he was gonna flip the car with it like a fucking boop, but no, he's just fucking.
See, I thought he was gonna use it as a weapon on them. That's what I thought.
But no, he just starts using it to beat the car up, and then just throws it to the side okay, I've had my fun. What the fuck?
It's so random. I mean,
that's how you know how unhinged he is.
It just shows like he has lost his fucking mind.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like the whole time, like he's a crazy person.
Yeah.
But he's just this is nuts at this point. He's been driven to madness, you know.
By the wasteland.
And honestly, part of it I think is because Gastown falling apart, because we forgot to mention when he's talking to his people right before they take over Gastown, he says like this is like their destiny.
Yeah, like we're supposed to do this to make it, because like that's his whole goal at the beginning of the movie too, is like because he's talking to the people of Morton Joe's place of like, we can rule this place together, everybody can have an equal share, like you don't have to be ruled by this guy, and like that's why like you think he's cool at the beginning, but I think he just slowly starts to lose. I think he has the best interest at heart until he just keeps losing and losing more and more.
Because like these other people, they kind of have like their ivory towers. Yeah. That they like the people who rule have their ivory towers except for him.
It's almost like, I don't think it's intentional. It's almost like an allegory for like the weak taking over the rich. Like it's just gonna happen again.
He like wanted to be Robin Hood.
Yeah,
but never was.
Yeah.
At least maybe, but also man, he could have just wanted that power too, because you really never know. Yeah. Because in Gastown, you know, it does show like where he's up there in that ivory tower himself. Yeah. You know, because his dogs are up there. It shows his dogs in the place. So.
Just fucking around doing whatever, chilling.
But I think it's just part of power. You know.
Yeah.
Like he ended up becoming that. But anyway, he has that whole spiel about how there's no hope in the wasteland.
All they gone.
Yep.
All they need to do is survive. You know, and then ties Jack to the fucking back of that motorcycle.
It makes him run.
Until
his legs just give out.
And then he falls down, they make him get back up, then they immediately pull him back down again.
And then I don't think we ever really see him again after that.
We don't.
So I just, probably because he's dead.
Probably because he fucking killed himself.
I would have too at that point. Because he was just being dragged around.
Yeah.
Like, he would not have had skin left.
It pans out to that cool shot.
Yeah, of course, she pretty much Deadpools herself and just cuts her fucking arm off.
Or before that.
That's how you know he's lost all hope, or he's just fucking crazy too, because the guy starts stringing her up by the good arm, and he says, "What the fuck are you doing? String her up by the arm we just fucking fucked up."
Yeah,
like that's how you know how fucked up he is. Like he's like, "Oh, you lost your touch." So he like hangs her up by the arm he fucking killed with that fucking to make it just that much more painful. Yeah, and I was like, "What a fucking madman!" Like,
and it pans to the top with all the bikes going around
for like, and like there's this really cool time lapse on Chris Hemsworth's face where it gets darker. Like so, to signify the passage of time happening. Like it's like a few hours later. It was really
he's just
cool.
Like sitting on top of his monster.
And then it like zooms out to all the motorbikes just in a circle going round and round.
Yeah.
And then the other motorcycle with Jack on it going the other direction. It was really cool. It was a really cool zoom out.
I thought it was really cool, man. It was a really cool shot.
And then he's like, "All right, fuck it, we're done. Stop. I've had my fun. We're gonna go home now." And then that's when he goes to fucking look at Furiosa, and she's fucking gone. She ripped her arm off. She pulled the fucking Deadpool, ripped that shit off, and took off.
My thing is, like, how does she get a bike? Well, if they're all going in circle motion, how the fuck did not one of them notice?
That's a good point.
Well, whenever he noticed, though, she had just gotten away.
Yeah.
Remember?
So maybe they'd stopped, and then she got on a bike and left.
Yeah. So I'm not... but I wondered that, too. Like, how did she get through all those people?
Yeah.
So there's a small chase scene. No, it's not really a chase scene. She kind of gets away.
Yeah.
And then they pan out and they allude to like Mad Max being up on the hill and finding her.
Because they have him just chilling next to the Interceptor eating something, and then like he notices her kind of fall over. And we had a debate about this after the movie. We're not sure if he saved her or if like someone else came along and saved her. We're not really for sure.
Because essentially in this movie, all of a sudden she's back in the Citadel, but she's amongst like these
people who like fought, because like I think that like they're reduced to eating maggots, so I think they use these body parts to grow the maggots for food, and I think that's what they were going to use her for.
Yeah, that part was kind of gross.
Yeah,
that part was super gross.
It's super gross in the game too, because like you have to eat fucking maggots. It's gross.
Ugh.
Yeah,
but she's like
to get your health back up.
I don't understand how she.
But like they are a good source of protein, so I mean it's gross, but I get it.
I don't understand how she gets back to the Citadel.
Same. So we don't really know, because I was telling them I'd seen in the original when they meet again, like there's no like mention of them ever meeting before. Like I thought like that's their first time meeting. So that's why I thought maybe he was just up. I thought that was just the Easter egg maybe of like, oh hey, there's Mad Max for a second. That's all I thought it was. But then when you brought up that maybe he saved her, I was like, it could be. I don't know for sure. Maybe they'll say something about that later on.
That's just what I assumed.
Right. Which it could be, like I said, I don't know.
But she wakes up.
She was knocked out, so like maybe she hadn't cut her hair yet, so maybe he didn't know it was her later on.
Yeah.
She wakes up, maggots, pretty much immediately just gets the fuck out of there.
Yeah, because that one, I don't know what that lady was trying to say. She was like, "Oh no, stay. It's better this way." And I don't know if you meant like, I thought she would like give up and just die,
just give up and die.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, Walt Jr. Just fucking die.
And then it shows where the Citadel is kind of starting to fall apart.
Yeah.
Because of all this bullshit, and they pull her. That she's like, "I'm Furiosa." That's the part we were talking about earlier. They pull her up. She goes up there to Morton John. And like
John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt,
a Morton, whatever the fuck, a Morton Joe, Morton Jack,
and he's because they're like, oh,
it's too many J names.
Also, we haven't mentioned once his like fucking advisor who looks like the Penguin. Like, was I the only one that thought that?
Yeah, that little thing on his nose.
Yeah, dude. That was his little wise man.
Yeah, a wise man. Yes, my tribal chief.
So she goes up there and she tells him like what's going on
because they're like, oh, we need to go to Gastown and get this motherfucker.
Well, they don't even know the Bullet Farm's been taken over yet.
Exactly.
The leader of the Bullet Farm is still there.
Yeah.
And she's like, he has the Bullet Farm, and they're like
he's making you think that they're in because like they're like, oh, they're blowing up Gastown. And then that's when Furiosa's like, no, that's a diversion. They want you to go to Gastown. They're at the Bullet Farm.
Yeah.
They take over the Bullet Farm. And at first they're like, no, that's impossible. Like, the two sons are like, that's impossible. But you can see in her eyes where she's looking at
a Morton Joe.
Yeah, she's like, no, like, because like, Morton Joe pulls like I'm in charge here, and I say that we're going to pretend like we're going to the Gastown.
Which is what
smart
they do.
Yeah. It's just like, my brother in Christ, they are not there.
My brother in Christ, they are not at the Gastown.
And I believe we're in Act 5 now?
Yeah. Revenge or whatever it was called.
Or maybe not quite yet.
Not quite yet. I think it's...
Yeah. But it's about to start because they go to they start going to Gastown. And
like, make it look like they're going to Gastown.
And then the guys, no.
They have another flare to signal like when they see Dementis coming for them, they shoot the flare to have the people going to Gastown turn around and come back to ambush them.
And then they do a time lapse again. Yeah, where they do what they call it, like the 40-day War of the Wasteland.
Yeah, where like it's basically, which I would love to see more of. That kind of sucked that they just kind of shoehorned that in.
Yeah,
but like also, it was cool.
The movie was super long.
That's true. Like I was saying, but
it really was.
Yeah, because they had this whole monologue. He's like, "Oh, there was the World War I, the Great War, the World War II." They talked about all these wars, and he's like, "And then blah blah blah, the 40-day wasteland."
40-year-old virgin.
Hey, I'm Steve Carell.
Wild.
So. Then we are in chapter 5 after that.
Yeah. And then that's when she's kind of gearing up. She gets her really cool robotic arm.
She makes her robot arm with the fucking little like...
little chainsaw or whatever.
It's like a little pair of pliers.
Yeah. Chainsaw woman.
We include people.
It's true. And then she's like, I need a car. And this guy's like, I've got one for you.
But it only has 3 wheels.
But somehow it worked.
It's missing a wheel. But
she got there.
And then she goes up to
like the, what do they call it? The front lines.
The front lines. And they've pretty much won. Like the Citadel has won. But Dementis is running away.
Yeah, he's like they're on the heels, but like their car's fucked up.
Yeah.
But it just so happens that the 3-wheel car she brought is a perfect fit for the wheel they lost on their car. So they start fixing that up. And then the 2 brothers start arguing of who's going to go after him. And then that's when she, in the confusion, jumps in the car and gets away.
Yeah. It's just 2 brothers.
And, there's that really cool... Because the history man is there. Dementis' history man is there. What does he call her? He calls her like the 5th...
Something of the fifth horse of the
horseman of the apocalypse.
Yeah,
dude. I bet he was so proud of her.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. You know he was.
He's probably like, hell yeah, girl.
You did it.
You did it.
You took my advice.
And I've never done that before.
and I'm the history man. They're supposed to.
I feel like they start doing a callback to her mother because they're chasing or they're riding away. Dementis and his few people that are left. And she fucking snipes one of the people on the...
It's like a
bike.
parallel.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're like, oh my god, what the fuck was that? They're so following us.
Because before that, we have a scene where the woman we talked about at the beginning who shot that guy in the head to get on the bike.
The dude without the eyeball.
Yep.
Can't forget
He goes right, she goes left. No, she goes straight, and then Dementis goes left. So she's like, well, who do I go to first? So she gets her sniper rifle out, shoots the person to the right, who we find out's the guy with the missing eyeball.
No, she doesn't shoot him.
Yeah.
No, she doesn't.
Well, she shoots the bike.
Well, first she She doesn't. She chases the main convoy down because it's his little bitch that he's had like, this entire time. Like that dude that's like spouting off stuff and is like, he's on the 3-bike chariot. And then it's the woman, and she runs the woman down. She runs over the woman in her car, and then she kills that dude. No, he falls into the sand pit and dies.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah.
And then she goes up on the thing and she's looking, and there's 2 bikes, and one went this way, one went that way.
Yeah.
And she's looking at him, and that one gets jumped by like raiders or something because they start like
those guys are in the 2015 one too. There's this ravine, like this passageway that she makes a deal with in the 2015 one for safe passage. Mm-hmm. Like she gives them like a bunch of gallons of gas. But like, so they're kind of set up in the 2015 one if you know they're there, and like, so if you get too close though, that's when they come out of there and fucking fuck you up. That's what they were doing to him. And then she shot his tire, and then they fucked him up after that. And then she like zooms in and she sees that it was that guy, so she knows there's only one person left, Dementis.
She instantly books ass after Dementis.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And he rides into a sandstorm, and then it cuts to, I guess like the next morning because he has his cloak over his bike. To kind of cover himself from the sandstorm and to sleep. And he wakes up and his wheels are missing.
His wheels are missing, and she slashed his water bag.
Right, yeah, because he has no water.
Yeah.
And then he gets out, and you also find out he unloaded her. She took his bullets too. Yeah. Like she could have killed him.
Yeah. Because he's like, oh, you could. Because like there's this thing where like we're like kind of confused, and so is he. But we don't see her yet. He's like, oh, so you found me. And then there's this cool zoom shot where you like pan over and she's behind him.
Yeah.
And he's like, why didn't you kill me? And she just walks away. So he starts running away. And I go, well, fuck.
And then she starts following him, and I thought that shit was awesome where she was barely creeping up behind him.
Yeah. And then he turns around
and starts walking towards the car,
and she starts backing up.
Like barely back up.
Yeah, it was funny as hell. It was like a little tug of war.
And this is honestly probably my favorite not action scene in the movie.
Yeah.
Because, this whole time, like, he doesn't know who this is. He doesn't know it's Furiosa.
Yeah, that's the whole crazy thing, too, is, like, he's met her so many times, or, like, seen her, and they've seen each other so many times, and he doesn't realize that that's Furiosa.
He doesn't realize it's the little girl that he stole from her mother long ago. Because she says it's been 15 years.
Yep.
So you get, like, an idea of how long this movie is.
And he's basically like, I've killed a lot of women and children. You're gonna have to narrow it down for me, which is crazy.
And then she starts fucking beating his ass with her gun, and she's screaming like, "I want them back, or I want it back." Like her life and her mother.
It's a little too late for that, buddy.
Yeah,
and he's like, "How do I do that?" It's like, I don't know.
He's like, he's going on about like that. Well, that's the thing about hope is that it'll let you down.
Mm-hmm. He's not wrong.
Yeah,
and he has such a good monologue.
He really does.
But
because that's where we get this. That's where we get that line from the trailer. Do you have it in it to make it an epic?
And he tells her like, if you kill me, we're basically the same person.
Exactly. Like there's no hope in this wasteland. You have to kill to survive. I don't regret anything I've done because everything I've done is just to survive.
Yeah.
Like.
And then they do that cool thing where they show all the different ways that she could have killed him.
It's almost like a legend. Like this guy's like, oh, there's been so many legends of what he did. Did he do the same thing they did, where she like tied him to the back of the car,
or did she just
shoot him in the front of the head? Because they have this cool scene where he's like, pro tip, shoot me in the back of the head, so I never know when it's coming. And all I'm going to hear is I'm not even going to be able to hear the sound of the gun before I'm fucking dead.
Yeah.
He like turns around. He's like, "What you should do is shoot me in the head, so I see it coming and get scared more." And he's like trying to take the power away from her revenge almost. And it's like, "Fuck you, dude."
And then she just makes him grow a tree out of his dick.
Oh yeah, because there's this whole fucking little side plot that we didn't mention at all, where her mother gives her a seed.
Yeah,
which looked like a peach pit.
Yep.
It did. You're
right.
It
was because it was the peach pit from that one guy that stole her.
Yeah.
She had that piece that she picked at the beginning in her pocket.
Yeah.
And that guy on the bike was like, "Look at this shit," and then she steals the pit from it.
He's like, "Y'all ever seen a peach before?"
Yeah. And then her mom steals the pit back and gives it to Furiosa and says, "Keep this, bring it back."
And then whenever you get home, like plant this seed, and
it's supposed to be a metaphor.
Yeah. Tree dick.
Yeah.
And then so she ends up planting the tree
in his dick.
It grows up through his dick for sure.
Yeah. I guess maybe they tied him down and then
And it says the tree like
grew through him,
and it feeds off his flesh.
Yeah,
but he's not dead. Like he's dying like a very slow, painful death.
So like he's basically like it's a thing they do in movies where it's like killing me is not going to do anything. It's like, yeah, well, here's another idea. I'm going to make you live forever, but like painfully. They do it in like other sci-fi shits and stuff too.
They just made him grow a tree dick.
And that's pretty much the end of the movie.
Yep.
They pan up from that, and then it's over.
Yeah.
And they pretty much just show, during the credits, they show clips of like the 2015 Mad Max, how her story finishes up later on with Charlize Theron in that movie.
And Mad Max.
Yeah, which was fucking cool too.
So,
that's the movie.
That's a movie.
That's Furiosa.
We just juiced the shit out of that movie. That's why we're called the Movie Juice.
That's the juice. But
movie juiced.
Garfield was good.
That's how we're gonna end it, right?
Garfield was good. Furiosa was good.
Garfield was good. Furiosa was
fantastic.
And
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I looked at Dylan and I was like, dude, this movie's fucking great.
Yeah,
and we were just a little ways in. Or not like a little way. They're like chapter 3. And I was like, dude, this movie's fucking awesome.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Like, it was the point where, like, I just stopped eating my popcorn because I was like...
So intrigued.
There are some times when we're in that Dolby where, like, things will be happening around me and I'll look away from the screen, but, like, I couldn't take my eyes off the screen.
The only thing, and it's not even the movie's fault, I just hate how hot I was.
Exactly, yeah. That's just the theater's fault because it's always hot.
It took away my experience because I enjoyed the movie. It's just, it took away from my experience because I was so hot.
Right. The one thing we can all agree on is thank God nobody brought a baby.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
Don't bring your fucking baby to a movie.
We'll tell that... We have some quarrels with that, but we'll tell that story on another podcast when we're not running a little long.
I think we should end it with an out of 10.
Okay.
Rank it out of 10. You
both
know?
Movie?
I'd
give Garfield a 10. I'm just kidding.
Okay. So,
Garfield 12.
So out of 10, realistically, I would give Garfield a 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe just a 5 because like I know it wasn't a movie marketed towards me.
That's true.
That's true.
But I think that's why I'll give it a 6 is because it wasn't marketed towards me yet. I still had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I'll give it a 6.
Yeah.
So 6 across the board?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And Furiosa, well, I'll let you guys go first.
No, you go first.
Okay, because I was going to give it like at least a 7. But mine, I'm only bringing mine down because I was going to give it an 8. But it's because I was hot.
Gotcha.
It's not the movie's fault. It's the theater's fault.
Right.
9.
Honestly, yeah, because the 2015 one for me is a 10. I love that movie since I watched it, and this one's just slightly. It's great, but it's still slightly under it for me. So it's definitely. I think 9 definitely for sure.
So, Dylan,
I'll bump it up to a 7.5.
Okay.
Dylan gives it a 7.5.
Would be an 8 if it wasn't so hot.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah.
James gives it.
Watch it again, like if you ever want to. Like, just watch it again when you're comfortable, and then see if it goes up.
A 9. Kyle gives it a 9.
Hell yeah.
All right. So, highly recommend Furiosa.
Definitely. And also, if you have family, watch Garfield.
Watch Garfield. Yeah. I mean, yeah, like if you just have nothing to do, watch Garfield because it was actually pretty good too.
Yeah.
And if you have a special theater like an IMAX or a Dolby, see Furiosa in that because it makes it 10 times better.
It was so fucking epic.
I think Regal's version of that is like RPX with the big screen and speakers, or like even IMAX. Even though I'm not a big fan of IMAX, I like the crispness of it, but the seats always suck. That's why I like our Dolby because the seats recline, even though it gets hot.
Oh yeah. Well,
that's the juice.
That's the juice, and not
the juice is back in the bottle for now.
For now, I've been Dylan Nell. That's been Kyle Dean, and that's been James McDowell.
Next time we talk about.
But we don't know yet.
There's no movies really coming out next week that we're going to see. But
we're
going to try and
about freeforming, where throughout the week, since we all kind of just watch movies in our free time too, we're thinking about freeforming, where we just talk about the movies that we watched over the week.
Which we're going to try and do at the end of episodes, but that's not this one because we're running too long. But like at the end of every episode, talk about other stuff we're watching or kind of doing in our lives too. Like I know me and James are big gamers. Dylan games occasionally. They both play WWE a lot. I play like just more like anything.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not a huge wrestling fan.
You are.
Poser. But yeah, so we're definitely gonna try and incorporate that into like the end of episodes if we have time.
Yeah.
And if there's anything you want us to talk about or movie wise or anything.
If there's a movie you think we should check out, throw it in the comments.
throw in the comments, shoot us a message. We'll have the links in the description.
Yep.
All that good stuff.
Yeah. Old Jeff will put all that in there.
Yeah, for sure.
Shout out, Jeff.
Big
My
Jeff.
name's Jeff.
And one last time, this has been The Juice.
Civilization.